everybody, I hope you're all doing well. So I did say I was going to be doing a Princess of Wales video, which I am. I'm literally filming 2 videos back to back. So you have this one and you will then have the Princess Diaries, which will be coming to you on Saturday because it's about time that Catherine had her own video. We've seen her a few times this week, and especially a couple of days ago when we saw her with her very, very handsome husband arrive for the Royal Variety Show. She looked like a gorgeous green goddess, and I want to bring lots of footage and photographs to you on Saturday with that. But of course, from the very moment that Catherine was announced to be attending that, you know, Meghan quickly got on the phone, got her staff in her kitchen, and then started making orders, fly my pretties fly, to try and find something that they could use to get Meghan in the headlines alongside the Princess of Wales, because Meghan is just as obsessed with trying to compete with Catherine as Harry is with his brother William. And just like clockwork, no doubt with the help of Netflix, Meghan's holiday special for Netflix dropped. Now, you think it would have made more sense, of course, for them to drop it on a Friday or a Saturday, you know, when people aren't working and they're trying to find something to watch. But timing is, of course, everything. And if Catherine and William had been attending the Royal Variety on Friday, you're guaranteed that that trailer would have dropped on Friday. The hotly anticipated, exciting, festive holiday trailer, well, okay, I'm completely making that up. It starts with Meghan doing some weird bop, trying to look like she's relatable and fun to the camera crew as she's picking out a Christmas tree, although I'm sure she'd call it a holiday tree. Nothing screams festive cheer and fun than picking a Christmas tree out all by yourself with the film crew rather than with your family. Now, Meghan does have 2 friends, actual genuine friends, appear in the trailer very, very briefly. You have Kelly McKee-Zafin, who I believe has taken over the role that Jessica Mulroney once had. And then you also have Lindsay J. Roth. She is, I think, one of Meghan's very few remaining friends from when she was at college. Now, Harry, of course, also makes an appearance because, well, you've got to get the ratings up some way. And he just looks more interested in the bowl of food as Meghan pulls him in for a tender kiss. Judging by her jaw muscles, I'd imagine that he irritated her by not responding in the way that he should have. It looks no different to any of her other episodes where you have lots of awkward laughter or Meghan laughing to herself because she's so funny when she bakes and makes jokes with the crew. You also have the return of the crudité board, which Meghan has made to look like a Christmas wreath and something that you would serve to rabbits rather than your guests. And she definitely looks like she's making the most boring children's advent calendar. This is for Archie and Lily. It's plain white and red. It looks like something you'd see with people's time clock cards in. And it doesn't look like there's anything fun going in there. Meghan seems to be writing out one of her "Mummy loves you most" love notes. It does remind me of Meghan writing on phallic-shaped fruit for the sex workers. "You are loved." Now the children get their very own calendar telling them that she is their favourite parent every single day for Christmas. Now, of course, with the stage set and the table set, we see Meghan in a rather lovely silk green dress, which we have seen before, because it turns out that Meghan is getting a little bit known for taking items from photo shoots. She's also seen down in a rather large mug of something steaming and hot. One can only presume it's a cup of mulled water. And then she's seen laughing as she pulls a cracker. So much fun managed to be packaged in such a short trailer, which I think has actually beat the records now. Last I saw, there was like 900 likes and something like 10,000 dislikes. So she's certainly setting records for Netflix, which I'm sure they really appreciate, but probably not as much as they appreciate Meghan releasing an interview that she has done with Harper's Bazaar on the same day. Meghan had to bring out the big guns. She knew that Netflix wasn't going to be enough to get people to stop talking about the Prince and Princess of Wales and to talk about her. Just unfortunately for Meghan, it's not for anything positive. But I think at this point, she surely doesn't care. As I've said before, Oscar Wilde There is only one thing in life worse than being talked about, and that is not being talked about at all. And that, I think, is Meghan's mantra. So not many people were shocked that Meghan managed to land the front cover of Harper's Bazaar, because it seems that Meghan has been chasing and courting them. Whilst she was in Paris at the Balenciaga fashion show that she had invited herself to, she was photographed with Harper's Bazaar editor-in-chief, Samira Nassar. This was obviously Meghan working towards a potential cover because she knows that Vogue won't touch her after her previous list of demands that upset and apparently terminated her friendship with Edward Enninful and incurred the wrath of Anna Wintour, who decided she is more hassle than what she is worth. So this interview is accompanied by a rather large and extensive photo shoot, and I'm going to be really honest here, it is not flattering. Now, people are quick to always jump on me and to say, oh, you're body shaming. This is nothing to do with body shaming. I am not being cruel about Meghan's looks. This is purely to do with the photo shoot, the way that they have made her look, and the clothes that they have actually chosen for her. They have aged her, I would say, by a good decade. It looks like they've tried to make her look androgynous, and it just does not work for her. Meghan can look extremely beautiful. I will always say that when she does. This is not one of those times. They did her dirty, and many people are speculating she might have really actually pissed off people there. Meghan, in my opinion, does look better when she has got her Hollywood grin. I think it's part of her appeal, and it also makes her look a lot prettier. This sour face look that she's trying to do, this is her fashionista face. She looks more like Zoolander. Well, Zoolander and someone that's constipated. I'm trying to work out if she's actually angry at the photographer with some of these looks, but either way, she just doesn't pull off the edgy look which she is trying to go for. The photographs, when I first saw them, I thought it was a spoof. I thought it was someone that had edited photos to make her look that bad. And this is the consensus across social media. People are actually quite shocked at how rough she looks in these photographs. And again, this is not me shaming Meghan, but this is the style of the photographs, the editing, the clothes, everything. It's really, really bizarre that they chose these photographs to run with. And as for the one that was picked for the cover, I've seen far more attractive photographs of Meghan. But the one photograph that I think that has got more people talking, and this is where it does turn really negative again towards Meghan, is this one. Now this one, you think, well, she looks quite pretty here, but it's when you see it next to this. This is where people are like, she is obsessed, this is creepy, this is unhinged, it's sinister. How many times has she done this? It's honestly insane. It gives most people the absolute ick. It's not paying tribute, it's cosplaying, it is copying. She might have been able to convince her dumb love-struck husband that she is the reincarnation of his mother, but for everyone else, it just makes her look like a very, very manipulative and cunning narcissist. Now, it's not just Meghan's pathological obsession with cosplaying her deceased mother-in-law or trying to knock Catherine off the headlines. It's also down to her ability to lie. She lies continuously. She lies about small things. She lies about big things. It doesn't matter how many times she gets called out for it. She will continue to do it. The interview is by Caitlin Greenidge, and I'm beginning to think that Meghan might be putting in a phone call soon to her bosses to get her put on some unpaid leave, because that's what she did to Alison P. Davies, who wrote the article in The Cut with Meghan. Once Meghan realised that people could see through what Alison was saying, she was pointing out that Meghan was fake, that she was deliberately setting up moments deliberately for Alison to write about. Who can forget Meghan making noises and telling Alison that she needs to put it down that Meghan made guttural sounds. I mean, it was completely bizarre. But Meghan, it seems, put in a phone call because Alison P. Davies was put on unpaid leave by her employers. And there's a few things in this that I think Meghan will probably try the same with Caitlyn. She has put some lovely things in there. There are, of course, some extra interviews added in with Serena Williams and Kelly McKee-Zafin, who only has wonderful and amazing things to say about Meghan. They have been slipped in throughout the article, I guess, to give it a bit more of a bulk. First, Meghan and Caitlyn meet with a group of schoolgirls at the Los Angeles Natural History Museum. Meghan is chatting with the girls and asks about their studies, and one girl says that she has a love of languages, which Meghan's face apparently lit up, according to Caitlyn, and she said, "I'm learning French on Duolingo," adding that she just hit 90 days straight. Wow, a whole 90 days, Meghan. Of course she had to. Her inner narcissist reared its head going, I do that. I'm very good at that. But hasn't Meghan tried to tell everybody before that she's actually fluent in French? No, it turns out that Meghan started learning it, 30 days before she decided she was going to make a starring role at the Balenciaga fashion show. The schoolgirls all line up to have a group photo, and it's noted that some of the girls don't want to look directly at the camera because they're a little bit self-conscious, which is natural for girls that age. And of course, Meghan stands in the middle as she faces a life of scrutiny, right? So Caitlyn's put that in here. So you can almost hear Meghan's probably looking over her shoulder. Put that in, put that in. We've got to talk about my hardships as well. We cannot let people forget that I was tortured for 72 days by the evil royal family in the horrible, racist United Kingdom. After the museum, they then go get lunch at the Polo Lounge, and Caitlyn notes this is the restaurant that everybody wants to be seen at. It's a place where people have open deals. You know, you're there to be noticed, perhaps people to talk about you. It's a place for people to go and to be noticed. And she made a point of saying that Meghan had picked a table in the garden which was in full view of everybody, and she took Meredith Maines, her chief communications officer, along for the ride as well. Whilst there, you will not be shocked about this, but the Procter and Gamble storyline did come up in the interview. But Meghan really seemed to have shied away from that, or Caitlyn just decided not to put it in the article. And she spoke more about the effect that it had on her at the time of the LA riots. This was apparently, according to Meghan, going on at the exact same time that she was busy saving the world one sexist TV advert at a time. Meghan says it was cinematic in a way I don't think many people can understand. It was so visual. People were driving around with their SUVs open. I saw people running with boxes of diapers, smashed windows, fire and ash falling like snow. But I distinctly remember in Tom Bower's book, Thomas Markle had said that when the LA riots had kicked off, he had taken Meghan away for the best part of a week to Palm Springs because he didn't want her seeing anything or to be affected by it at all. But Meghan goes into such detail every time she tells this story. She's embellishing it further and further. Meghan, in truth, wasn't anywhere near the LA riots. But as I said, this is Meghan, a pathological liar. She gets called out for it, but she continues to do it. Caitlyn, of course, brings up the conversation about Meghan being a girl boss. And Meghan says what she loves most is the community of it. She loves the connection of it. I think her staff may beg to differ on that one. Meghan added, when people start to see your work ethic and really understand how dedicated you are to things, how you are in one place is how you are in other places. You mean completely chaotic, a failure, a flop? Meghan only had one full-time job in her acting career as Rachel Zane on Suits, 138 minutes across 7 seasons. Meghan lasted 72 days as a working royal and 6 years later is still dining out on it. Not only that, she was dropped by Spotify for a lack of productivity. Netflix is also slowly detaching itself from the couple despite spending millions on her to try and get her to do some sort of hit. And now they don't even want to sell her stuff in their flagship stores. Meghan's okay with it though, because she said they were going to sell it on their online stores. Well, apparently someone at Netflix has also turned around and said Meghan will sell her products on her own website. So that to me doesn't bode well for the Netflix contract either. Still on the subject of Meghan being a girl boss, Caitlyn dares to say, Meghan, do you learn by your mistakes? Well, come on, Caitlyn, Meghan doesn't make any mistakes. Her staff do. Meghan says you learn not to do it again before clarifying if it all goes swimmingly, you don't learn from it. Or, of course, you just scream and shout at your staff until you either sack them or they decide to walk out mass exodus. I don't like things that feel overly realised. If you overwork the dough, it's not going to rise. Oh, Meghan, I don't know how to tell you this. You are the dough. You are the dough. We see you every couple of days. You're putting something out. We have never been more oversaturated with Meghan Markle as we have been this year. She is the dough, and that's why she doesn't rise. Now, in a particularly special moment, as the interview is wrapping up and they're getting ready to finish up at the restaurant, a moment happens. It comes out of nowhere. Caitlyn writes, as the meal finishes up, an unsolicited cappuccino arrives, and in the foam on top, the restaurant had printed a photorealistic image of Meghan's very own face. Meghan looks at it and goes, oh, I recognise that. That's from mine and Harry's trip to South Africa. I wonder if it was the photograph of Meghan just as she does her sad doe eyes and the bottom trembling lip as she looks at Tom Bradby and says, nobody asked if I was okay. She's setting the stage for Caitlyn because she needs to keep reminding Caitlyn that Meghan has got everything she has now because she endured, because she's brave, because she's suffered. And Meghan was apparently so tickled at looking at a face of herself on her cappuccino that she took a picture of it all excitedly. And it reminds me of the staging that she did when she had Alison P. Davies for the Cut interview and they went on the school run to collect Archie. And Meghan spotted a homeless man and told the security guy to stop, as he was then told to get a rucksack that Meghan had lovingly prepared in the boot. And apparently it had a muesli bar and some water in it, and he had to run over and then give it to the homeless guy, as Meghan no doubt span round in her chair looking at Alison P. Davies like, yes, I did that. See that? That's me. I did that for you. Make sure you write that down. Yeah. After the excitement of Meghan seeing a photograph of herself on her cappuccino, it was a full week before Caitlyn had the wonderful experience of meeting Meghan in New York and getting on with part 2 of the interview. Meghan apparently turned up barefaced or fresh-faced. You could see her freckles and she was wearing her Northwestern University jumper. And Caitlyn remarks that Meghan looks like she could still be in college. I have to say that the accompanying photographs that go with this interview say otherwise, unless she meant Meghan would be the matronly dean of a college. Meghan's student days have long since passed. So as for that sugary sweet compliment, I think that was just added in because the next bit that she put is where I think that Meghan might be putting in a phone call to make sure that Caitlyn has some unpaid leave owed to her, because she said that we're in a grand brownstone on the Upper East Side that belongs to one of Meghan's friends. When I enter, the house manager announces, Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, even though we appear to be the only 2 people in the house. Where to start with that one? Okay, so I think that Meghan, being the down-to-earth person that she is, I think that she told the house manager, when the guest arrives, I need you to announce Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, meaning for when she walks into the room in all her regal finery. And obviously the house manager misunderstood because 1, it's America, people don't have the titles out there, and 2, it's not Downton Abbey, you know? Meghan is not the queen. She doesn't need to be announced when she walks into a the room. It just highlights the fact that she doesn't have a modicum of humility. And I honestly find that amazing that Caitlyn was allowed to keep that in there. But now I know why she was buttering up Meghan before that, the paragraph before, saying, oh, but yes, Meghan, she just looks so young and so fresh-faced, she could clearly still be at college. Yeah, girl, you're lying and you know you're lying. Now, as for Harry, he does get a mention much, much further down in the interview, but not before we have Serena and Kelly McKee-Zathan singing Meghan's praises. You know, she's the bestest, most wonderful friend. Meghan shows up, Meghan's present, Meghan walks on water. You can practically see Meghan like that in the background. But as for Meghan talking about Harry, well, she says what she was drawn to. Was she drawn to his princely titles, his, royal association, his bank accounts? Well, she's never going to admit that, is she? Of course she's not. What gold digger would? No, Meghan turned around and said that she was drawn to Harry because of his childlike wonder and playfulness. No, she's just a skilled manipulator and thought, oh, he's an easy mark. He's as malleable as Play-Doh. Meghan could bend that boy into any sort of shape and he would just bend over and take it. But she talks about his love for her. He loves me so boldly, fully. No one in the world loves me more than him, so I know he's always going to have my back. Not a single mention of her love for him, just how much he adores her. She did the same thing in the Jamie Kern-Lima podcast, where she said, that man loves me so much. But the thing is, what Meghan told Caitlyn is actually wrong. By saying that there is nobody in the world that is going to love Meghan as much as he does, it's just simply not true. No one in the world is going to love Meghan as much as Meghan loves herself. And these interviews always go badly for her. She doesn't listen to anybody. She continues on with them. The fact that she still lies, she times them to clash with the Princess of Wales, which is just, again, as I said, she's pathologically obsessed with trying to outdo or get one over on Catherine, the same way that Harry is with William. And it just doesn't work. The whole reason why I'm bringing this up is because it's just unhinged at this point. This isn't about a gentle nod towards her mother-in-law. This is Meghan cosplaying Diana like she's the reincarnation of her. And the fact is that those photographs were bad enough on their own. I don't think they were flattering. I think that they aged her. And I actually think to date, that's the worst cover that Meghan has ever had on the front cover of any magazine so far. So it seems that, people apparently get back what they put out into the world. And I think Harry and Meghan have put out so much nasty and so much negative with the way that they've treated people in their lives. It seems that karma has decided, do you know what? Do you know what? Your time has come. Your time has definitely come. Either that or they really, really were upset over at Harper's Bazaar, because I failed to see that Meghan would have approved most of those photographs. Anyway, guys, tell me your thoughts and I will be back with you, I promise, with the Princess Diaries. And no other royal, well, apart from Prince William, is going to get a mention in there because it's going to be all about Catherine. Anyway, guys, no, I lie. Paddington's going in there too. See you soon. Bye.